In this video, you will learn exactly how I make these speed ramp transitions. So by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to make them. And they are actually pretty easy once you know how to do it. I used the Sony a7 IV together with the Sony 2470 zoom lens, but I shot all these shots in 24mm, resulting in wide angle shots which give you that extra sense of speed while speed ramping. So that's perfect. I recorded in 4K, giving us some extra flexibility for zooming in post-production without losing too much quality. 60 frames per second, so we have enough frames to work with for smooth speed ramping. To have a clear visual of what I'm filming, I like to use a monitor screen. In this case, I used the Portkeys LH7. And to get rid of unwanted reflections in the windshield and the car's paint, I used the Freewell CPL filter, which actually comes in this nice leather case. And to get those buttery smooth shots, we used the DJI RS4 right here. To get these shots, I used pan tilt follow, and I start close to the subject, which was the skateboard here, and I walk away in a half circular motion, tilting slightly upwards to keep the skateboard in the middle of the frame. And like this, I took two similar shots for the speed ramp transition. If you want to edit along with me, you can download these exact clips in the community under the resources tab, where you can also find other footage for you to practice color grading and editing. Link in description. For the sake of this video, I already color graded the clips and exported them in 60 frames per second, which can be helpful to reduce playback lag while speed ramping. I also set playback resolution to quarter to have the least possible lag in playback. But no worries, this doesn't affect the quality for exporting, this is only for the playback. Now we have our clips imported in DaVinci, and we are going to stabilize the footage, because without stabilization it would look something like this, which is pretty crappy, to be honest. Let's fix it. To do the tracking stabilization, select your clip and we go to the Fusion page. We hit Shift Command Spacebar, Tracker, Enter. Make sure your node here is connected. If it's not connected, just hit Shift and hover over until it's connected. And then we are going to select the Intel track and put it somewhere on a point where there is a lot of contrast, somewhere around the skateboard, because we want to keep the skateboard in the middle. And we want to choose a point with some contrast, so it's easy for the tracker to follow that specific point. If you want to zoom in, just hit Command and use two fingers on the trackpad up and down, and then you will be able to zoom in. Let's try, for example, here the corner of the L. We hit best match and track back and forth. And here we can follow if the tracker does a decent job. Then we are going to operation, match move, background only. If that looks good, we are going to get rid of these black borders that might appear. To do that, we hit Shift Command Space, transform. Then also we are gonna hit right click here, guides, show guides, and this will give us the exact middle of the frame. And we can use this to put the skateboard exactly in the middle of the frame. We do the same for the next shot, and that will give us a smoother speed ramp transition. We can do this by playing with the sliders right here, a little bit up. We zoom in, and then we just check throughout the clip until all the gray borders are gone. That looks good. And now this shot is perfectly tracked, ready for the speed ramp. And we are going to do exactly the same with this shot. Once both shots are tracked and we got rid of the black borders, I'm going to render them in place. This will reduce any lag in playback while we are speed ramping. what we want to do now is to add beat markers to the timeline. You don't want to select the clip or the music, but just click here so nothing is selected. Then we are going to listen to the music, and on the beat we are going to hit M. And this marks where we are going to transition from one clip to the other one, where we are going to do the speed ramp transition. So you listen to the music and hit M. So let's start with an M at the first frame. There we go. And then it's time to actually do the speed ramping. So we're going to select this clip and we go to the Fusion page. We're going to hit Shift Command Spacebar, Time Stretcher. Now you will notice we are here in the first frame and a key marker is set automatically. That's why I like to put my marker in the first frame of the clip. Then let's open up Spline here. So this is our first beat marker. Then we move over to the second beat marker and we're gonna make a keyframe here. Now the first beat marker will be the start of our shot. In this case, frame 0 is this frame. But actually I want to start with the last frame, and here you can see which number is the last frame, 183, because I want to go from wide to close. So I start with frame 183 like this, and then when we move to the next beat marker I want to end to frame 0. Now make sure that this is selected and we hit this button to see the full curve. Then I'm gonna click here, Command A and then S to smoothen out the curves. This graph shows you the speed ramp. When it goes straight down, it's super fast, and when it flattens out, it goes super slow. So here we go from slow to faster to slow, which looks like this, but that's not what we want. I want to start fast, so I'm gonna take this knob right here, and I'm gonna drag it downwards. And I'm gonna do the same here. I'm gonna drag it up. So here we start our clip fast, it speed ramps fast in, then it goes slower, and then it goes again fast. So that will look something like this. There we go. And then we can actually trim it right here and delete the rest. And then we're gonna move our next clip here. So now we go from far away to close. So we want our next clip to have the same pace. So from far away to close to have a matching speed ramp. Otherwise it just would look weird. So again, we select the first frame here. We go to Fusion, Time Stretcher. So we watch here, frame 143 is the last frame. So let's go to frame 143, it's where we want to start. And then we go to our next beat marker, and there we can hit keyframe. Now I want to have the boomerang effect, so I actually want to end also with this shot with frame 143. So now to create the boomerang effect, so from wide to close and then back to wide, let's set our marker somewhere in the middle. We're gonna hit keyframe here. And then we want this keyframe to be at frame 0, which is this frame right here. Then again, click this button, Command A, S to smoothen them out. And we're gonna do exactly the same here. So this means we transition fast. We're gonna do the same here, so we can transition out fast to the next one. And then here it goes slow, and then back, boomerang effect. So that will look something like this. Okay, that looks good. You can always play around with the curves here to get exactly what you want. If you play around with these things, it will become very easy very quickly. I do see some jittery here. I don't like the first frame. It's just too wide. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, move one frame here, and I'm gonna cut this frame away. and put it here. That looks better, but then we also have to change the last frame here, and we can just move it here, and that will make it look a little bit better. Perfect. And again, we can cut it right here, delete this part right here. So for the next transition, I'm just gonna copy paste this one actually, and I'm gonna make it all the way long. Again, we're gonna start at the first frame. So we go from close to wide. So we're gonna do the same here. We're gonna just start over. So we have a keyframe in the beginning. And then we go to the next beat marker. And then we're gonna set it here to frame 183. Command A, smoothen them out. Sometimes you want to get rid of these annoying beat markers. So something like this. Okay. Now we're gonna do another boomerang effect with this clip. So I'm gonna copy paste it. We're gonna start here and then make it long again. So we go to the fusion. We're gonna hit restart. So we start with frame 0, which is good. We go to the next beat marker, frame 0, somewhere in the middle, hit keyframe, and then frame 143. Again, we're gonna smoothen it out and change the curves. So we're gonna trim it and delete it here. Now we're gonna do something special. So we want to put different pacings into one clip. So I'm gonna copy paste this one here. Therefore, we might have to add a few beat markers. So we're gonna listen to the music and add beat markers. So we added this one. Then we go back, stretch it out again. So we have all the frames. We're gonna reset. So we go from far to close. We're gonna do the exact same thing here. So we're gonna start with frame 183. And then this is the marker that we put in the middle. We go to the next one. Here we go to frame 0. Let's already smoothen out the edges and fix the in and out transition. Something like this. And then we are going here. We're going to add another beat marker. And we're going to select the beat marker. And we are going to add speed here. Let's drag it a little bit down. So the speed ramp will be nicer. We might have to get rid of this one. It's in our way. Drag it down. Sometimes you have to play a little bit with the curves to see what looks good. And then we have something like this. We're actually a little bit offbeat. The speed ramp comes a little bit late for me personally, so I'm just gonna drag it a little bit towards the left, so earlier. Let's see what it gives. Before we are going to add that little bit of spice to make the speed ramp transitions perfect, I want to invite you to our private community for automotive videographers. This is a place where you can learn exactly what I know, going from camera gear, camera settings, gimbal shots, editing, color grading, whatsoever. We do weekly live calls where you can ask all your questions. We do live color grading, live editing, and we invite other cool automotive creators for you to learn from. And of course, we do editing challenges where you can win prizes and you can connect with other people, be in a group of like-minded creators, get some feedback here and there, and just enjoy the community. I also share here some of my raw footage for you to edit and color grade, and just so much more. If you are stuck with editing, color grading, whatsoever, this place is perfect for you. It's completely for free for 7 days, And if you like it, you can stay. See you inside. Let's continue. So we are going to effects, we're going to toolbox and add an adjustment clip. We're going to shorten it. And then we are going to go to open effects, zoom blur, and we're going to drag it over here. And close the effects tab. And now let's put it in the middle. This will add some motion blur for the shots, but we are not finished yet. So we want to go where our transition is, and we're gonna set a keyframe here. And then we're gonna check where our speed ramp starts, which is somewhere here. Then we are going to the first frame, and then we're gonna add another keyframe, hit 0, and we're gonna do the same thing where the speed ramp ends. So keyframe 0. What this does, it will introduce some motion blur slowly, like softly, and then once we are in the actual speed ramp transition, there is a lot of motion blur, and then again it fades out. So something like this looks already much better. You can always trim it to your own desired length depending on your speed ramp, and you can actually easily copy paste it for your other transitions. And let's not forget for the start. And then we have something like this. If you want to know exactly how I film these types of car shots, make sure to watch this video next.